Hi there, this is Claudia again, your community early childhood educator slash educational assistant. Um, Hi there. Today I am with episode number three. Episode number three. And episode number three is being taken place at a place they call Cora's Cottage in Wasaga Beach, and I've been informed that there's hundreds of communities like this one throughout Canada, and I never knew. Who knew? Right? A place that you can actually go and relax a little bit and take a breather for a few days. It's a nice place to be, and I'm liking it. So look out, you guys, for Cora's Cottage if you want to get away, maybe a little bit for a few days and breathe. Think about Cora's Cottage. Anyway, so we're here at Cora's Cottage, and I've been thinking all day about this episode because I wanted it to be something that would revolve around you getting to know me a little bit more. And in addition to understanding where I'm coming from with the reason why I think brain nutrition and children with special needs and typical children also, why we need to rethink how we feed them. The reason why we I think it's one of the most important things is because um the world is changing. The world is changing, and there's so many things that we have to focus on so that we can realize that things are different now than they used to be. The foods are different now than they used to be. Um, in some countries, even the alcohol that they're giving you is changing. And as a result of all of that, I think that we need to have an army of people in the next generation coming that think differently. If we don't do that, I don't know what kind of world we're going to have or they're going to have by the year 2050. It's important that we look into those things. So with that, I want you to understand where I'm coming from in terms of why we need to focus on the brains. The future of our society depends on its children. And it depends on how we treat those children. As they grow, they as they grow, things that are important to them are things like what we feed them with. Even though I understand that we want to teach our children how to read, we want to teach them how to write, we want to teach them how to be kind to others. But if their minds are not thinking clearly, they cannot they cannot learn all of those other things. And if we're feeding them things that are affecting the brain and affecting their development, what's going to happen at the end of the day is that we're going to have a society that does not value the children coming up. They don't value themselves, and they don't value what the future is going to hold in terms of older people in the society. They're not going to value them. So, with that, I see that our future lies in how we keep those children's brains strong and how we give them resilience to move into a tomorrow that might be very different from the one they were born in. Think about that for a minute. Think about a society where the brains of the future are not acceptable to be able to raise the children thereafter. Not to say that the society is going to disappear into oblivion, but what kind of society are we going to want our children to be in? People think that you should just, in terms of trying to fight the system, you just like fight them like with your hands. You have to fight with your mind. And if you can't fight the system with your mind, there's not much else we can do. So with that, back to my trusty paper here that I always have. If we can't, if they can't fight with their mind, where are they going to end up? So as a result of that, I say, teach the children how to read, teach them how to write, teach them how to be kind. But arguably, I believe the most important thing that you can teach them is how to nourish their brains. When you nourish a child's brain, he has the ability to think more clearly and think more clearly about the future that he wants to create for himself. If we're putting foods into their bodies that cloud their thinking, we're not giving them any tools to move into the future with. We need to give them food that keeps their minds clear. And that means hopefully starting from the beginning with giving the healthy things rather than the things that we think are temporarily going to make them happy. It's temporarily going to make them happy. But in the long run, they might not be happy for it, happy as a result of it. Okay. And please, you guys, don't come at me and say that I'm telling parents what to do, or we don't understand that we don't have the time and this and that. I get it. We're busy. I get it. But when we give them things to cloud their thoughts or cloud their thinking, we're hurting them more than we realize. Because what tool are you giving them to move on to the future with? The only tool that they come into this world with is the brain. That's the only tool they come into the world with. And when they come, they expect you to be able to give them information that can help them walk through the earth and not get killed by saber-toothed tigers and all of that stuff. That's what we used to teach our children back in those ancient days, I think, right? But now they don't have saber-toothed tigers to fight. So it's not a natural instinct anymore. It's thought. It's thought. So it's evident too that even as children with special needs, we're not going to expect that they're going to get better just because they are eating healthy. But for children with special needs, you best believe that the outbursts will be minimal, the speech delays get better, and it even helps with gut issues. So I suggest that if we want some of those outbursts, especially the outbursts, to be minimal, we're going to have to start doing something about what we're feeding their brains with. And if we continue to give them treats and things like that because it's going to calm them temporarily, over time, they will be in pain in their guts. They have behavior issues that when they go to school, none of the teachers want to work with them. I know we're busy. But we got to do something about this, guys. We have to do something about this. And I feel that the best way for us to begin to feel more useful is to start feeding your kids things that help to nourish their brains. Don't just try and, in Jamaica we say, cut and go chew. No bother with the cut and go chew, because we're hurting them when we profess to not have the time. They are indeed the next generation. You can't not have the time. We have to figure it out. We have to figure it out. So, with that, I say that that's what we're aiming for when it comes to our children and also the children with special needs. You know, we're aiming for them to have a better connection with the world around them, a better connection with the teachers, a better connection with the people in their circle. And we have to try something. Even if, let's say, for instance, we try to feed our kids a little bit healthier and their behavior doesn't change, they're still healthier. So why not? We want them to have a better connection with the world around them. And there's no better gift. There's no better gift that you can give to someone than to give them the tools to be able to live their lives a little longer inside this body and be able to connect with the world around them. Okay? Because we want them to have the best quality of life. The best quality of life while they're here. That's important. That's why we came to the planet, I think, is to experience this life in its greatest capacity. And in order to help our children experience this life in its greatest capacity, they have to be able to experience it through this. And the brain is something that gives them, through the proper nutrition, that gives them a fighting chance. Heal the body, heal the brain. And there was something that I was reading somewhere. This is the end. This is the last, I promise. There was something that I was reading somewhere. I think it's my famous guy, Dr. Bobby Price. Hey, Dr. Bobby, just in case you you hear about this video and you watch it, respect is due to you. You're awesome. And he said, sometimes we have to think, and thinking also with how with children with special needs and all of the full circle, when we're feeding our children in any regard, or even yet when you're feeding yourselves, you have to ask yourself the question, did I make a health deposit or a health withdrawal? That hit me. That hit me because I thought to myself, wow, did I deposit something into making my body better? Or did I deposit something that actually made my health less? Gee whiz. Anyway, I'm just saying. So with that, and I hope this was not too long, but this is longer than I thought it would be. But at the end of the day, sometimes we have to just say what we got to say. Say what we got to say, right? So with that, guys, I say peace and respect. Blessings.